So, without any further delay, Saqib Bashir and Ahsan Amjad.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ahsan Amjad and I'm heading digital financing at Meezan Bank. As you've heard from our presenters, this concept, this problem statement that has been mentioned was presented to us, to the executing team, myself and to Saqib. We have to digitize the entire transaction and launch first Islamic financing digital platform. That's the basic criteria that we were given. So we worked, alhamdulillah, over the past 7 to 8 months, day and night, to make sure that this journey becomes real and is executed. And I'm thankful to Faisal Fareed Saab at Coca-Cola for giving us, a tough time, and as rightly mentioned by Tanveer Saab as well, that, we worked on perfecting it at every level. And I'm humble to say this, but yesterday when we conducted our first transaction, the sense of achievement that we all had in our IT team, our credit manager, Munawar Saab, was sitting there, and, we jumped. We all jumped because our transaction went successfully. It was at 7:30. That's when, we did our first Islamic digital financing transaction, and, I'm hoping that we do 500 million rupee worth of financing on a daily basis. That's the vision that I carry, and this is the system that has been created by Saqib and his team at Haball. And to take you through the journey, I'm going to hand it over to Saqib to give his briefing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahsan. I'm just going to talk about the product for a bit. So when presented with the problem and when we were figuring out a solution for them, we basically arrived at 3 basic pillars that the solution should encapsulate. The first feature should be that it should enable quicker turnaround time for the financing request. Currently, obviously, the entire process is manual and a lot of collaboration between the anchor itself, the bank itself. So the idea was that it has to be instant, otherwise it won't work. The second was that it should be inclusive for all SMEs. The idea entrenched within Haball is that it should be all inclusive. We should approach and give equal opportunities for all the key stakeholders in the supply chain by moving through the anchor. And the third, obviously, was that there should be technology involved to make it scalable. So anchor-based financing is nothing new. Banks have been doing it for a decade. But the idea is that they haven't been able to scale it. So keeping these 3 basic pillars in mind, let's just revisit the problem once again. Let's understand how currently banks extend financing to SMEs in Pakistan. So I'm not going to talk about the entire process it takes, the time it takes for an anchor to collaborate with the bank and to onboard their distributors. That's a whole other topic right there. Let's just skip that for a second. Let's just talk about the transaction. Let's just talk about what it takes, the time it takes for a distributor to raise a financing request and the funds to get disbursed. So step number 1, the distributor will submit some sort of form to ask for financing. Since it's Sharia compliant, it's always going to be asset backed. So for that, he has to provide visibility of the inventory. Again, that would be in some shape or form a report, an inventory report from his warehouse. Once that's done, the bank will start their due diligence. And remember, there are a lot of moving parts over here. There's a credit department, there's a Sharia department. Currently, a bank's nominated personnel goes to the warehouse just to verify whether the stock is present in the warehouse or not. After all of this is done, and if it's approved, the funds are dispersed. I'm not talking about any specific product. This is just an overview. That can take anywhere between 2 to 3 days. I'm just talking about the financing transaction. So what we've done, the output is we have reduced it to 15 seconds. Haball has been in a sweet spot since the beginning. We have been providing supply chain aggregation where we're integrated with the corporate system. And on the other side, we're integrated with the banks. And this is just an additional use case that we are now able to facilitate. So it's scalable because there's technology intervention and it is instant. So now let's just talk about how that's made possible. We have real-time inventory data. Remember the person who goes to the warehouse to check the inventory? When raising financing through Haball's platform, the distributor himself gets real-time visibility of the stock present in his warehouse. Not only that, the bank gets the visibility of what inventory they are financing. Again, all of this is being done real-time. The second, offer and acceptance between the obligor and the bank is being done through the portal. The third is, once it's approved, all of the checks at the bank's end, whether there's cushion available in his limit or whether he has an overdue or not, all of that is being done digitally. And once approved, the funds are disbursed instantly. Not only that, the corporate and the bank both have visibility of how the funds are used. Because it's an anchor-based program, the funds are moved to Coca-Cola's account. And the distributor can use those funds for future ordering. So it's not only about the fact that we are doing instant disbursements. Both the parties involved have a clear visibility of how the funds are being used. Once the funds are dispersed, there's automated confirmation of sale. Again, we have clear visibility of the warehouse structure. Whenever Meezan Bank's goods are sold by the distributor, he can initiate a repayment. So, without going much into the detail, what has all this amounted to? The basic problem from the bank's end and the corporate's end was program management. The idea is to provide a toolkit to both the corporate and the bank to manage this program efficiently. That means from the bank's end and the corporate's end, if somebody is going on an overdue, both parties will know that immediately and then they can handle. Obviously, there's tweaking involved as well. With so much data, both the corporate and the bank will understand the liquidity requirement of the distributor, whether he needs funds for 7 days, 15 days, 30 days, whatever. And the best part is they can customize this for each individual distributor. Again, the key over here is to provide efficient dashboards and efficient reporting to both the parties, because that's the only way they can make this program a success. It's not just about instant disbursements. It's not just about knowing when the goods are sold. It's providing the data that is required for both the parties to manage their program efficiently. It's not only in the bank's interest that the program is successful. It's equally more important for the corporate that the program succeeds. So we have not only covered the digital disbursement part. The way a distributor pays their corporate to Haball, that's the same way he can repay their loan. So it's efficiency and mapping the distributor within the same ecosystem and the same process that they're used to currently. Last of all, digital credit scoring. Right now, how the bank scores a distributor is based on his historic data. What we're standing on is the payments data. So once the customer is onboarded, there's one scorecard, but the key again over here is that scorecard keeps on being updated based on his performance. Not only his performance with one anchor, but obviously multiple anchors as well. The basic concept is to provide scalable solution for the banks, because the need for supply chain financing exists in the market today. Banks are ready to lend out, but the idea, the base of the problem was that the solutions that were available were not scalable until now. Thank you.